Is luxury dead? Hello, lovelies. Today we're talking about the luxury landscape and some things to consider before making your next luxury purchase. In previous videos, I've discussed some of these handbag trends. And in particular, one of the things that I mentioned a couple of videos ago is how I felt that the Louis Vuitton Neverfull was on its way into a decline. This is a bag that we saw absolutely everybody have one, anywhere from 2017 all the way till last year. I feel like it was very, very prevalent. And to me, this has always been very fascinating because I came to be on social media and have this job right around the time when it was getting really, really popular. And I was not immune to the luxury seduction. For example, even though I did not get a Neverfull, I did get a Gucci belt and thought I had really arrived because of that. And so I'm definitely not immune to luxury trends, but the thing that we're seeing now that confirms that I feel like the Neverfull has died down is that Louis Vuitton has released a few versions again, in particular the upside down Neverfull and then the inside out Neverfull. And we're seeing these bags all over our feeds lately, all over TikTok, all over Instagram, dozens of influencers unboxing these. To me, there's a couple of things going on here. Number one, I have a feeling that most of these influencers that were gifted this bag, it's not like their go-to bag. I feel like many of these ladies are so chic and posh and fashionable that they wouldn't rock a Neverfull. I would be curious to kind of stalk their socials over the next couple of months and see what bag they choose to wear with their outfits. And I have a feeling that many of them are not gonna be the bag that they were gifted. Now, if I was gifted a Louis Vuitton bag, would I be unboxing it for the whole world to see? Absolutely. How amazing and cool to be gifted something by Louis Vuitton, a brand that you want to be associated with. It would be a very proud moment. So good for them for being gifted that kind of bag. But are these ladies truly choosing to wear this bag after they've been gifted? And that's one thing that I don't know that the answer is yes. The other thing that is kind of curious is it again becomes this thing where you have to be part of a club. And that's what it originally felt like back in like 2017, 2018, when everybody had the Gucci belts, the Neverfull, kind of that whole vibe going on. It felt like if you did not have at least one of those pieces, like you weren't part of the club. And I think this type of mentality or groupthink or wanting to belong is very human. I think as humans, we always look to belong somewhere, and it's almost like an unspoken type of emblem to wear one of these pieces. But above and beyond that, I think it really tells the world that you're very much at the beginning stages of your luxury journey. If you're a fashion lover, not all the time, but many of the times you want to be associated with luxury in some way, shape, or form. So whether that begins with fragrance and buying a beautiful Chanel perfume or lipstick, usually starts in the beauty world where you start to dabble in the luxury brands in that way, and then slowly moving on to accessories. And they're kind of like entryway accessories that automatically let people know like, oh, this costs a lot of money and therefore she's into the luxury world. Like that's a very basic entry point into luxury, versus when you start to really become more sophisticated in your luxury taste and you start to like luxury more for the quality and the history and the sense of passing it on as an heirloom to your family or to future generations. It starts to kind of shift from, I want to be seen as somebody who can afford luxury and has a very recognizable emblem of luxury, like the Gucci belt, like the Neverfull, and move more into a space where it's less about the logo and showing people that you have the money to buy it and more about that thing. And then you start to move into more of the brands that the masses don't know about, and that's okay because you don't care that they know about it. It's almost like cooler, and it means more that not everybody knows that what you have is very expensive, kind of like the scene that a lot of people talk about in Succession, where the guy brings the girl to the family's dinner. She's wearing a huge Burberry bag that is like an eyesore to this guy who's actually not old money himself, but he's trying to infiltrate into the old money scene. And it's kind of like, to him, he's already gotten the point that like, hey, if everybody can tell what it is, then it's like not at all desirable. I'll never forget in 2019, I was in Paris Fashion Week and I was at a show seated next to one of the heads of Delveaux's brand. And we started talking, I had no idea who she was. And she said, oh, by the way, like we totally hit it off. Delveaux's having a presentation, do you wanna come? I was like, yeah, of course. I had heard of Delveaux, but I had not ever considered purchasing it. She took me to the back room where there was very, very crazy wealthy rich people in the back buying like crocodile bags and very obscure bags. It wasn't like a Birkin where like everybody can understand that it's worth a lot of money. Like it was extremely quiet luxury, especially back then when quiet luxury wasn't even a quote unquote phrase in 2019. And I remember thinking, wow, I'm very embarrassed that I have never considered Delveaux as part of like my purchase set because it wasn't loud enough. It wasn't like a Gucci or a Chanel like I have back there, right? And I still don't have a Delveaux. That was kind of my first foray into thinking, wow, this is kind of the end of the road here where people's like radar, but it is so luxurious. It's made so well. It's got such history and it really changed me. And then of course COVID happened and then I kind of forgot all about Delveaux. I forgot about all the luxury things. We're getting back to all the Louis Vuittons being unboxed right now. So I think it's really trying to capture all the people that are very ripe to have their first luxury purchase, and especially like all the Gen Zers, and I've never probably gotten a Neverfull before, and this is like, oh, like their favorite really hot influencer is unboxing it, and not just her, but like all of them are unboxing this bag. And so we're probably going to be seeing a lot of these out there. And I always think it's so curious. Materials aren't particularly special. Like it's mostly canvas, a little bit of a cheddar. This is the Epi bag, which is not like the bag that comes to mind when I think of the Neverfull. But yeah, that's the other thing too, is like if you're a Neverfull lover and that's your thing and it's so comfortable. In the video where I discussed this previously, there was some people that were like, yeah, I'm a diehard Neverfull person. I have 3 of them. I'm gonna buy another one, and you know, all the things. And so like, I think it's great when you know what it is that you love. Like that is who you are. That's what you love. That's what works for you. Where all of the perfect things in fashion meet. That is what we're all trying to get to, right? What is luxury? What we can afford? What makes us happy? You know, what's relevant? Like all the things here, like great, this all works out. However, I think this is a good example, if not lesson, to think about as so many new things will be rolled out to, especially now that Chanel bought the Row and now they're going to turn it into like a real money machine. So we're probably going to be seeing a lot more of that. I'm sure the Row will become increasingly less quiet. A good thing to keep in perspective is all these people were gifted this bag to push it along and make it something that's very appealing to the masses. So therefore, why should we want one? Why is that luxurious? If everybody has one and everybody is unboxing one and they got it for free, which also kind of like, I don't know. I feel like that feels a little jarring. Like, what if everybody started unboxing, you know, a free Birkin? Would it still be as desirable? Actually, I don't even know if Birkins are still very desirable. I have no idea. I've never tried to buy one. I've never tried to stand in line and try to woo a sales associate or an SA for one. But everybody got one for free. You're seeing it. Now everybody's going to have one. Or the best part is really getting me down on luxury, and why I feel like luxury is on its way to being dead is because the replicas are so accurate right now. They're so good. Not only the masses that are buying these new Neverfulls, but now you're going to start seeing all the replicas. So it just starts to become very diluted to me, and the intent and the purpose of like why we buy something and why you would want to be seen in it. You know, a lot of the bags that are sold in the fake market are like the YSL, Lulus, the Neverfulls, the Chanel flaps. They're really, really good. A lot of people, it just becomes like, why should I get a real one? Especially when we're seeing so many people kind of get to the bottom of it and deconstruct a bag and let us know that, guess what? The bag that we think is so luxurious is not even handmade. There's so many bags now that are made by a machine. And once you really get down to it, it doesn't cost a lot to make it. It actually strips that beautiful luxury experience and it makes it less special. So why should you buy the real thing when the fake one probably costs a very similar amount to make? Like there's very little incentive now to have it be special. By the way, before anybody thinks that I'm saying something I'm not saying that you should buy fakes instead of the real one just because they're cheaper and because they're similar in quality. When you support fakes, a lot of times you are supporting people that are connected to a lot of really bad things in life, human trafficking and all sorts of human rights things that you don't want to be part of when supporting the fake market. When we did see this situation of fakes on the street in Madrid, I was with my mom and we were walking down the street, you know, actually doing a little bit of shopping. We saw a couple of guys with a bunch of fake bags and there was a police raid. Miraculously, he got away from the police. The police confiscated all the bags and my mom started crying. And I asked her, why are you crying? She said, I'm crying because now he has no way to make a living. I just thought, how complex is luxury and the realities of making a living and different realities of economy around the world. So this man was definitely making a living from selling these fakes. And I calmed her down and I said, you know what? Unfortunately, he did lose a lot of money because his stuff got confiscated. But at the same time, those bags were probably made in a way that is not ethical whatsoever. Like, it supports a lot of different trafficking rings and other black market things that are so bad for so many other people. So yes, this gentleman lost his ability to make money for the next couple weeks, but like, it's supporting something that is ugly. And she was like, you're right. You know, she's got a very big heart. And this is something that I try to share in many of my videos. There's always a good and bad side to everything and every brand. It is very challenging to find a luxury brand nowadays that hasn't gone through some type of scandal. Anywhere from the Hermes breaking the antitrust law and forcing consumers to purchase items that they don't necessarily want in order to buy a bag from them, which is crazy, and then having it be a lottery system, to the conditions of Dior and Armani workers, to the Balenciaga using children in a horrific manner. I can't think of many fashion brands, let alone luxury fashion brands, that don't have a scandal of some sort. So why do we still shop there? You know, there's a lot of really negative things happening behind closed doors. There's a nostalgia too of wanting to have an amazing customer service. Half the time when I've gone luxury shopping, either I get treated very well and it's really fun and engaging. You're going in there and spending your hard-earned money and you've been looking forward to a purchase and it's supposed to feel kind of whimsical. You're in some kind of a dream. Instead, a lot of times you get treated like you probably shouldn't be there. You get like bad vibes from the sales associates and kind of just like, oh, like, what is she doing here? Looking you up and down, really unpleasant. I've had a couple of exceptions where the brand has turned it around. Ironically, it has been Louis Vuitton. I used to live in Chicago and I would go to the Michigan Ave store all the time. I always wanted to buy with sneakers. That was kind of like my entryway into the luxury segment. I really wanted some chunky sneakers and they had the aerodynamic one in 2018 that I was really interested in. It's just such a negative experience that I never ended up buying them because I felt so awful about it. And then there was one time when I went back in there a few years later to buy a gift of somebody that I knew would love a Louis Vuitton keychain. And I was treated so well and just so warmly, and it was so fun. I actually ended up buying boots. One person can really turn it around for you because they're the face of the brand. And I even told her, I said, I actually don't shop here because I've always felt awful every time I come in here. Every single brand has a different experience. It really truly is who you get. I think a lot of times we're looking for the service and beautiful packaging and to be sent away with our item in a way that feels very, very special, as it should. And I think sometimes that gets diluted because of poor customer service. The line to get into some of these stores is overwhelming. It feels like you're waiting for a ride at Disneyland. Like you're just sitting there waiting for your turn. By the time you get there, everybody's exhausted, including the sales associate. A lot of times when I do shop luxury, I end up buying secondhand. As you can tell, I am a lover of luxury, but I wanted to make this video because I think it's really important to identify buying things for the wrong reasons. Really being true to yourself of, is this something that I really like, or is this something that I'm seeing a lot of because literally 30 influencers are unboxing it? Is it something that I can afford? Truly. I think somebody once said, like, if you can't buy something twice, then you can't buy it. And that's kind of a good way to think about it. Like, if you can't buy it 2 times, you probably shouldn't buy it at all. And the third thing is knowing that it's not going to make you happier. Somebody who gets PR boxes most days, I can tell you that doesn't really add that much utility to your life. If you do love a good handbag, there's a few that I would recommend. The first is Demi London, which I feature on my videos all the time and in styling fashion. What I love about this brand is that not only are they beautifully crafted and literally nothing happens to them, the quality is superb and they are so classic and timeless, but they also give back. So every time that you purchase a bag, they donate vaccines and medical treatment to children around the world that don't have any. And I just love that sense of, yes, it's a luxury brand, mid-range luxury brand, but they're also trying to give back. And I think it's so, so important to have that be embedded in a company's value. That's why I really respect them. Not only that, but I really love their designs. The other bag that I've really been enjoying is Sagmont, which I have 2 of their bags. One glaring objective of Sagmont is their sustainability. When it gets delivered to you, you can tell that it's been recycled paper, but they also use marine waste to create their vegan leathers, which, by the way, are so beautiful and buttery. It is so soft. This is a vegan suede. I really love my Sagmont bags. They range anywhere between like $300 to maybe like $800, and they're so chic and stylish, and you get the package. It feels very special when you wear it. It looks beautiful. There's just more mindfulness about how they're made, which I think is the ultimate luxury. And they're giving back as well, and they're thinking about the earth. Probably like the best definition of luxury that I can imagine. For Trends That Died in 2024, make sure to check out this video. I will see you there. And if you learned something today, make sure to hit the subscribe button.